Welcome to Designing Digital by SPINX. My name is Lisa and I am here with Valerie today. How's it going, Valerie?
It is going great. Thank you, Lisa.
Awesome. So we both work for a digital agency named SPINX located in lovely downtown Los Angeles. And this is going to be our first ever episode, our first ever podcast episode that we're doing here, where we are just jumping on and chatting about what we get to do each and every day within the digital agency that we work for. So who is SPINX exactly? We are a digital agency and we do everything from website design for clients, to digital marketing, to branding, specifically within the digital space and how to really bring brands alive online. Yeah, so we get to have a lot of fun. We work with all kinds of clients, all kinds of industries, everything from firms within the legal space, which we're going to dive into and talk a lot about today, to healthcare, to entertainment, and we even do consumer and retail brands. So we're kind of all over the place. There's a lot of variety in what we do. We do not work just within like a specific niche, but a lot of what we do applies across industries because there's a lot of commonalities in the way that you can approach marketing online. And so we take those commonalities and then specifically apply, what works within specific industries to create digital solutions for our clients. And those digital solutions, again, they can be websites. That's kind of the majority of what we do. It could be social media branding or social media marketing. It can be search engine marketing. It can be display advertising, branding services. We even do some print design as well. If somebody does need some print design, we will jump in and do that too. But like I mentioned, we are going to spend the majority of today chatting about some of the sites that we build for our clients within the legal industry, specifically law firm websites here. So we work with dozens of law firms across the country. Some of these are large global law firms who have, maybe 20, 30 different offices, both in the US and then across the world as well, all the way down to a boutique firm that might, maybe just have one location, a handful of attorneys. We work with them all. And while there are commonalities across both types of law firms here, there's also a lot of differences. So Valerie and I are going to kind of chat about what those look like today.
The variety and the breadth of industries, verticals we work with is kind of our superpower. I think it's the reason that we're able to be so creative and think outside the box with our clients, because we are able to really apply marketing methodologies that really cut to the core of how to best represent our clients online. And so I think that really is what kind of unlocks a certain creativity that maybe more niche, sort of web design, a web design strategy might bring to the table.
Yes, I completely agree with that too. And I think one of the things I've noticed working at SPINX, so a little bit about myself. My name is Lisa. I am the Director of Creative and Strategy here at SPINX, which means I work in the creative production side of projects where I'm giving creative design direction for our projects. I'm doing a little bit of project management as well. I'm doing a lot of the user experience strategy and really planning out what the overall solution should be for our clients. And yeah, one of the things that I've noticed in the time that I've worked at SPINX is because we touch so many different industries and verticals within those industries, is like you're always learning about new businesses, new ways to do things, and it just gives you such a broader bucket of ideas and solutions that you can possibly implement for clients. So definitely agree with you there.
So my name's Valerie. I am both an account executive here at SPINX, and then I also work on projects. So I'm a senior project manager as well. So that usually starts out, I work with my clients to kind of initially draw up strategies on how to design the best website for their firm or company or organization. Then once the project kicks off, I also coordinate between my client's team and then our design and development team, and really kind of keep the project moving along. So I'm a lot about timelines, deadlines, milestones, and really taking things across the finish line.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to jump in, but before we do, I have a question. What are you drinking today?
I am hard at work, so I have a bubbly cold glass of sparkling water.
Very work appropriate.
Work appropriate, yes. Work appropriate bubbly.
Nice. What flavor you got?
I got lime going on today.
Okay. Very
What about yourself?
I am drinking just plain old water.
All right.
The only weird, interesting thing is I drink my water out of a salsa jar. So
Oh, okay. Spicy.
that's just something I do. It's large. It's a lot of water. It keeps me hydrated. I don't have to run back and forth to fill it up all the time. So
that is great.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Love the image of drinking out of a salsa jar.
Right.
Good stuff.
Yes. All right. Well, let's talk about some law firm websites. So like I mentioned before, we work with all kinds of different sizes of firms located in, multiple cities or maybe just one city, located all across the country, and firms who specialize in a bunch of different areas as well. So over time, I've learned there's a big difference according to firms who specialize in, the different areas that they practice and just the way that they approach their marketing and their website, and even what we do on the website can make a big difference. So let's talk a little bit first, Valerie. Let's talk about the target audiences for the site, because it's one of the things we like to do, right? We like to define who we're making, whether it's a website or digital marketing, who we're really making this for.
That's always the first question. First part of the very, very beginning of the planning process is not just looking at who you are as a firm, so who our law firm is as a brand, but really who it is they want to work with, who it is they need to be communicating with through this website. So who is it who's going to visit the website exactly?
Absolutely. And by far the largest audience groups that we hear kind of repeated over and over that are important to our clients are recruits. So people who are looking to join their firm. That's one of the more important audiences that they want to reach out to and provide content for. There's also potential clients, and this obviously varies from firm to firm, whether it's going to be more of a consumer client, so people coming to like class action law firm sites, or firms that might specialize in like mass torts or something like that, versus a corporate client who might be looking for someone to represent them. And then a third audience that we hear a lot are other of counsel who are coming to the site to gather information there. And then when you look at these audience groups too, I've also noticed kind of a trend of it differs between, who's going to be the more important audience, whether the firm is a more regional based firm versus a national firm versus a firm with maybe a global audience that they are trying to reach.
It also definitely varies from firm to firm based on their size, sort of the prioritizing of those buckets of audience members, of course. But yeah, that's always the first step, of course, is establishing who our different target audiences are so that we can effectively design for and message to those particular people, personas.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. I guess I have a few more things to add, specifically within like the recruits. This is something where I've noticed this matters a lot more to kind of the big law. So
Right.
those firms who practice big law. And if you think about it, it really does make sense because these tend to be those larger firms that have either close to 1,000 or over 1,000 attorneys that do work there, and there tends to be a higher turnover as a result of just the sheer number of people who work at the firm. So they're always trying to attract and recruit the highest level of talent that they can to come in and join their firm, whether they are maybe fresh out of law school or making like a lateral career move, or maybe hoping to move up the career ladder. Maybe they cut their teeth at a smaller firm and want to get that big law firm experience. So that's definitely one of the more important audiences that we've noticed for them. And to the extent of a lot of times we will build out entire sections of the site, which might compose of 10 or 15 different pages that are aimed just at the recruiting side of things within their firm. So these pages will talk about everything from what people can expect if they come to work at the law firm. It can talk about things like the workplace environment, the culture, any benefits they can expect to receive there. Talks about, what they might expect to work on while they're there too. A lot of times these law firms even have programs where they offer kind of like a summer, you might think like a summer internship, but it's similar to that, where they can go and get an experience at a law firm over the summer. And if they're still attending law school, obviously they'll go back to law school at the end of it. But a lot of times it could be a good transition out of law school, go work at the firm for the summer, and then transition into kind of like a full-time position at the end of that. So there's a lot of attention that's paid to attracting recruits, and the result of that is just we can build out like full sections. And then on the flip side of that, we've noticed there's other firms where that just isn't important to them. They're not trying to attract numbers of people. if they if someone wants to work at their firm, basically they're known well enough within the space of what they do that the right people will come to them and find them. So there's definitely a difference we've noticed within, different types of law firms with recruiting, and how important that target audience is as well.
So, Lisa, when we're first starting, I know when I think about when I have my first conversation with a new client representing a law firm, one of the first steps really is establishing what the actual purpose of the site is. We've decided what those target audiences are, and we've kind of defined those personas. So the next step is, of course, to set some goals. What are our actual goals for the audience? What is it that we're trying to accomplish with the site? Can you speak a bit to how we approach, establishing what our goals are here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the first things too that we think about ties back into the audience that we were just those audiences that we were just talking about, and specifically when we're talking about someone who is trying to attract potential clients, we think about the lead generation side of things. So the lead generation does differ pretty widely depending on what type of firm this is. So is this a firm that deals with mostly corporate clients? In that case, it's going to be a little bit different, and lead gen might not be their number one goal and priority. But if it is a firm that is dealing mostly with consumer cases, then lead gen, takes first priority there. They want it to be front and center on their site so that they are getting as many leads in and potential work for their firm in as they possibly can. So when we look at lead gen for potential clients, for firms who are mostly working with consumer cases, we're thinking about, one of our first thoughts are, where do we want to place, typical call to actions, what type of call to actions do we want to have on the site, and then how big of an ask do we want to make on this site.
Right.
And I'll kind of like dive into that. There's different types of lead gen that we can do across this site. So we can do everything from newsletter subscriptions, which tends to be kind of a smaller, more like a micro ask, just asking people for their email address so that you have permission to contact them, keep them up to date. If there are any updates or new cases that you are trying to recruit people for, then that's a great way to get in touch with them. So that's one type of lead gen that is pretty commonly asked for and used across a lot of the law firm sites that we do. Consultation forms is another big one, specifically for like a class action firm, a mass tort firm, where they're just trying to get people to participate in these class action lawsuits, or like a mass tort. And those are forms that, we want to have easily accessible on the site. We want to not beat people over the head with it, obviously.
Right.
But we want to sprinkle them throughout the pages, at least have it on every single page, like at the bottom of the page. A lot of times we'll see maybe a button that's called out and has a little bit of extra attention to it up in the top navigation. You'll see a form part of the way down the page. You'll see a form at the bottom of the page, depending on how long this page is as well, because some of these might have like specific landing pages for, a class action. Like an example would be like a landing page for a specific class action lawsuit that they're trying to get as many people's contact information as they can related to this. That might be a longer page, both for an SEO play, so they're targeting a lot of keywords. So if people are searching for this, they'll pop up higher in organic search results. And then also it provides a lot more information to people, so people automatically can get questions answered on this page. They can feel like they can trust the firm better too, because the information they're looking for is right there, easy for them to access and get. And then those pages also tend to have more of these consultation form callouts as well, just to give people opportunities whenever they are ready to reach out to this firm, make it as easy as possible for them to reach out and give them their contact information. That's another type of kind of that lead gen side of things. There's additional ones. It might be something like asking people to download a report or a white paper in exchange for some of their personal information. So you might ask them maybe, name, email address in exchange for a report or a white paper related to the type of law that is being practiced at that firm.
So the idea here is we're crafting different pathways for users to get where they're going, but of course, since every user is going to be coming to the website with a different, kind of at a different stage in this journey of finding the right law firm for them and for what they need, we're sort of sprinkling these, value adds, really, right? Throughout each page and throughout each section of these different pages for, in the case of these longer, landing pages. Basically, the firm is, our client, the firm is providing something of value to them, whether it be, say, like a free case evaluation or a newsletter with, some great information, that comes to them via email, or a report or white paper, something that's been put together that can really benefit them. And we're basically trying to kind of meet them at whatever stage of that journey, as you said, that they're ready.
Yes.
And so we're sprinkling this throughout their journey.
Exactly. And that's a great way to put it too. Just that whole value add piece. You want any of these lead gen pieces to be providing value to people. It has to be something that people find value in. Otherwise, they're never going to give you their information.
Right.
So even when it comes to something like newsletter subscriptions, being able to tell them up front what they can expect in this newsletter, how it is going to be providing value to them,
Right.
is important as well. Otherwise, people might see it, oh, it's just going to be another email in my inbox when I already get
Right.
hundreds of emails each day. Um,
Yep.
so really,
Exactly.
yeah, really kind of even selling these pieces in a sense, selling these lead generation opportunities and making sure people understand that it is, that you are providing value to them, and then making sure people understand value, what that value is going to be to them.
Right. And it's all an effort to build trust and to kind of initiate this relationship. Like, that's really what this is about is, this is your introduction, a law firm's introduction to a potential client or potential partner, whatever it may be. So it's really about building that trust. So we're offering, here's the quality of our service, and here is, you know, the answer to the journey they're on, which truly is a vetting process for them, right?
Mm-hmm,
They need to see that this firm is going to be the best partner to represent them, and so it's about providing value, showing them that they're a good fit, and
yes.
in doing so, there's that exchange, right? They feel comfortable once you lead them through that journey, and they're able to kind of gain the right information at the right time. Then they make that leap, provide information, and that's where the conversion comes from. It's earned.
Absolutely earned. Absolutely earned. And it really is, it's all about building that trust. It's all about showing who you are as a firm and why people should trust you so that they want to reach out to you and start that relationship, start building that relationship. And really, the website is a great way to take those first steps, and it's an important part of starting to build that relationship, as well as any online marketing pieces too. So any maybe LinkedIn marketing or additional marketing pieces, ads that might be being run, those are really those first steps to showing that the firm is credible, that people can trust it, that it is worth their time to reach out or give you their contact information, or whatever you're asking for within that. And so that's kind of talking about one of those top goals that we hear about a lot when we're working with law firms. Another top goal of specifically doing with websites might be just using the website for marketing. So we notice this being the top goal for larger firms, so firms who are working with corporate clients mainly. A lot of our big law firm clients, their main goal is recruiting, and then using the site as a marketing site to attract recruits, and then providing information for potential clients, these potential corporate clients that are coming on there and just looking to grab information. And so on this site, the call to actions across the site can differ a little bit from those more consumer facing sites, where it's not as blatantly in your face, hey, fill out this form, give us your contact information, we'll reach out to you, we'll give you a free consultation. It's not necessarily about that on these sites. It's more subtle. So guiding people to information that they need to find on the site, whether it's an office location or an attorney, or if it's, in the case of recruits, helping them know about if they're interested in applying to the firm, how they can apply to the firm, and providing, these things in a way that are easy for people to find no matter where they land on the site, and kind of start that journey on the site. And then another big goal that we hear is just to further enhance their brand story and really take who the firm is as a brand and make sure that their online spaces, which can be websites or social media profiles or even the ads that they run, make sure that these carry a strong brand look and feel, and that look and feel lines up with who this firm wants to be. So one of the things that we do with all of our firms that we work with is we ask them to give us some adjectives that describe who they are. And I love doing this activity with them, because it really gives such great insight into, who they are, who they want to be seen as. And then it's always fun for me from the creative side of things to take those words and actually make the look and feel of these marketing pieces match those words. So if a firm says they're innovative, they're entrepreneurial, they are bold, maybe they're aggressive. So how do we take those words and turn it into a look and feel? That's honestly, Valerie, that's one of my favorite parts of the project. Because it all ties back to that branding piece, and how do we tell that brand story through things like the colors that we use, the typography that we choose for the site, the imagery even that we choose on the site, and the tone of the imagery. Is it upbeat imagery, or is it something that's a little bit more serious and maybe a little bit more formal?
Absolutely. I think this is one of the top kind of goals that I hear most often, only because I think it's very common. So for us, it's common for a law firm to come to us who is established, but maybe they haven't designed, their last website design was, say 5 years ago, in some cases even, up to 10 years ago. And so one of the main reasons that they're coming to us is, they tell us outright, it's not that we're having any trouble getting cases or getting new clients. We're not having trouble attracting attorneys. We've grown so much that we've outgrown our site, and we're not proud of our site anymore. When we go to the site, it just doesn't represent who we are and how experienced we are, how powerful we are, how successful, how effective, etc. And it really is that branding piece. It just, this is just not who our brand is, and it certainly isn't who we want it to be. So then the question becomes, how can we sort of match where you actually are as a firm to, like you said, the sort of visual language that we're going to use to redesign the website. And I think the beauty of working with the firms that we've worked with through these sort of rebranding exercises is actually applying some of that same methodology to some of our other sites that maybe that isn't the first goal that they present, that a client of ours presents, but it's something that we can really bring to, a new law firm's design to really elevate it. Thinking about, not just how are we going to generate more leads, or, how are we going to sort of use this as a marketing asset, but can we take this opportunity when we design this website for our law firm to really define ourselves as a brand? Whether they're at that stage in their kind of consciously at that stage or not, it's something that really kind of comes to play regardless. And it really does help to, I think, really enhance the design process and the kind of strategy that goes behind the design.
Yeah.
For all of our clients, really.
Yeah, all the clients. But I'm with you where, yeah, again, with a lot of our law firm clients who do come to us, it is that lack of feeling like their website looks and feels like who they are as a firm that I think they want to address first and foremost, and make sure that, it looks and feels like who they are.
Yeah, like that, so almost like what they've earned, the look and feel that they have earned over the years.
Yes.
They've established themselves, and they are successful, and they're renowned, and yet they just feel that their site does not reflect that. So then it's about, finding really how to convey all of that through the design of their site, or the redesign of their site.
Yeah.
And I know, so with a couple of our kind of long-term clients, law firm clients, we have had that opportunity to go in every couple of years and give it that refresh.
Yes.
For that same reason. Things change, it grows.
Yep.
And and we're almost keeping up with the firm's growth. You know, the design, the look and feel has to keep up. And so that's always an honor, of course, and a joy. Always so much fun.
Absolutely. It is. It's so much fun. It's fun seeing how they've grown, whether it's, you know, the number of attorneys they've added, number of offices they've added, but just kind of even how they've shifted from like a strategic positioning standpoint to, and how we can shift the design language on the site to align with that. And I must say too, I think I worked on my very first law firm site over a decade ago. And I remember looking at other law firm sites just, you know, to do a competitive audit, see what was working on those sites, what wasn't working, where we could maybe pull ideas and inspiration from. And I've got to say, over the past decade, law firm sites have come a long way.
Yes.
There used to be, you know, some pretty bad sites, to be
No
honest.
kidding. Yes.
And not as many good ones that we could pull inspiration from. But over, you know, the past decade, they have, you know, made leaps and bounds from a design standpoint anyways, and from a branding standpoint anyways, to where, you know, there's a lot of solid branded law firm sites out there that tell that solid brand story.
Yep, absolutely. Some of them in our own portfolio.
Some of them are. We've had the joy and the honor to be able to help, you know, so many law firms really take their branding to the next step on the website. And I would say too, I think we're going to have to do a part 2.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about. Yes,
we have a lot more to talk about, and I'm really excited about the next part we're going to talk about. So just to throw a little teaser out there, we're going to dive into what are the most important sections on a law firm site, and we have some numbers and some stats to back these things up based off of the work that we've done with law firms, and then a whole bunch of other things that we're going to cover too. But I think we will have to wrap this up. I will say though, you know, if you are a law firm and you're listening to this, or even if you're not a law firm, because we work with, like we said earlier, clients in all different industries and verticals. If maybe this is you feel like your site isn't living up to your brand, it isn't telling an accurate brand story, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about that. We would love to put some ideas together for how you can better represent your brand online, both through your website and digital marketing assets as well. So you can find us online if you search SPINX Digital. You can also go to our website. It's spinxdigital.com, and Spinx is a little tricky. I know a lot of times people think maybe it's Sphinx, like the Sphinx in Egypt. I've heard, I think
SPINX, I hear.
SPINX, yes. I've even heard Spanx before.
That's my favorite one, of course.
Of course.
Sphinx.
Yes, but
speaking of brand stories, we need to come up with one for Sphinx.
Yes. But if you're looking for us, it's SPINX and then digital.com. That's our website. You can find us on there. You can check out our portfolio pieces that we have on there. You can check out the law firms we've worked with. We've worked with several amazing law firms located, you know, across the country and throughout the world. And you can reach out to us that way. You can get in touch with Valerie or me that way through filling out the form on the website.
Reach out. We'd love to chat.
Absolutely.
Till
Awesome.
next time.
Yes, till next time.